Hello and welcome to the commentary for Superanon, which was a 48-hour film competition. A word to the people who don't know, the 48-hour film competition is a competition in Vancouver where you get an inspiration package of 5 items, and in 48 hours you have to produce a film and deliver the completed film 48 hours later. That opening shot originally had a better version with fog in it, like these shots, but the camera operator, that would be me, forgot to push the button. And you also heard the first of the 4 elements, and here's the second. The second is that staple remover. The first of 4 elements was the bells that you heard at the beginning that chime 4 o'clock.
Hello everyone. Thank you
And
so early this morning. I appreciate
all of
you
this
very
was
much honoring the
improv.
secrecy of
We
our
just
meeting here at Superanon.
we just sat down and we had
Dr.
about a
Kyle,
2 or 3 hour
and,
session
I'd like to
where we
just
kind of got our
start going
characters in
around
place
having
and what their
everybody introduce
backstory was
themselves.
and everything. And then
Hi, everybody.
I would just ask for things.
My
Go up
name
and
is
introduce
Chester.
yourselves. Tell me how you feel about being related to Batman,
I'm really
that kind of
excited
thing.
to be with you this
And
morning.
we've got these amazing performances. These are really great actors. This is sort of like, these shots from this angle are one of the 2 sort of, or 3 I guess, areas where we did sort of production value shots. The rest of it's mostly handheld, just because it has a more of a cinema verite feel to it, and also it's very much faster. It's easier to get the shot you want when you don't have to set up a dolly or something. But this here is on sticks or on the jib, which I built the night before.
Hey everyone, I'm Lance Banner, brother of Bruce Banner, the Hulk.
This is Reg. Reg helped me with lighting and actually shot and directed a scene at the end, which I'll inform you about.
Bob Wayne.
It's funny seeing where people get this
Brother
joke about
Bruce.
I'm Bob Wayne. The savvier audiences get it right there.
Reasons why I wanted to start
And in case you don't get it,
in
here's Deb to tell you
person.
exactly what we're talking about.
See if there were other families of
This
superheroes that-
this film has actually quite a long first act, quite a long setup. But when you think about it, we're actually following the arc of 9 characters. Well, 8. We don't really follow an arc for Deb, but we're introducing 9 characters in a 10-minute short film, which if I had thought about it at the time, I would have probably decided not to, but it works quite well. So sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Well, I grew up living with my mom.
I must be blissful a lot.
Wonder Woman. And I didn't know who my real father was until I was about 12. For some reason, Mom didn't want to tell me.
Well, basically, it goes back to when our parents were murdered. Up until that time, really, there had been no press at all about us children. Our parents kept us very shielded.
And this is a spot where my mind is a complete
from the
blank.
public. Being billionaires, they were very protective of us. You know, I mean, we could have been kidnapped by people.
We did know what we were doing with this film in terms of building the energy and the intensity. These shots are getting cut shorter and shorter as we go. The energy level is going up, and we're just, playing with the pacing and trying to keep that going. So there's a lot of editing involved to make that happen. We edited probably 3 to 4 times longer than we did in previous years, and used less time to shoot, which I think is a good idea, actually. And this guy completely stole the show. You wouldn't believe it, but originally he was thinking that this part was too stupid. He shouldn't play him like that. Maybe he should be a little more intelligent. No, I don't think so.
My name's Trevor.
Um,
I'm related to
Now with Brant's, Brant actually set fire to himself, but we want to mention, please don't try this at home, kids. Brant is a licensed pyrotechnician, so you don't want to be setting fire to your name badge.
I just love the bird.
And actually, his name badge, we didn't burn on him, we burned off him and stuck it on him because of the toxic plastic.
Well, I can't fly, but I can jump for long distances.
Although this looks natural and quite fresh and everything, it was actually a second take of the same thing. So that's what a good actor will do.
Well, I'm related
Keep
to
it fresh.
Hogan, the Wolverine. He's part of the X-Men.
And Terry had a little problem with the name of his character, which you'll see in the outtakes.
Gets stuck and he cuts up the furniture. He can
I wanted to mix these shots up so that we have close-up, wide, moving in and out, so that it doesn't all look like the same setup. Sometimes you can get away with it looking like the same setup and cutting from one to another, but in this case, it didn't work. So here we got a little move,
So you want someone you can talk to about that.
and you know, sometimes we're close, sometimes we're wide. Just mixes it up a bit and makes it interesting.
You can't really have a relationship
It also has kind of a, you know, documentary feel. I've shot a lot of interviews, so you kind of get the idea of how to do it and what the framing should be.
She's a good old horse.
That was one of our elements, the horse.
That happened to them that I can't tell.
Now here's a spot where we're actually transitioning into the second act. Although we're over halfway through the show, this is the spot where we get into the second act, and the setup's done, and now we're going to start to actually follow the characters through a bit of a story. And I was worried that this transition was a bit abrupt when we were doing the editing, but it actually came out pretty good. When we're actually cutting it, I was going, we got to get into this playground somehow. This is one thing that I wish we'd done a little differently. I wish Reg's character had gone from happy-go-lucky to irate a little bit better. He's just kind of flipping a switch here. And he's doing his job. It's working great, but I think we'd like to see that mercurial aspect of his character. And now we're in the second act. I'm totally glad this was Reg's idea. I'm glad he came up with that. Gets us right in there. Follows it through. Now the interesting thing about this shot is that everybody was quite slow coming down that slide, not just Sheldon. I just cut it in the end of the shot. It's a funny joke. And here Matt was the only one of us that was wearing boxers that day. Or is that too much information? I love the look on Reg's face in this shot. And coming up here with Kelsey, who's Brant's daughter, incidentally, is the lamest joke of the whole thing, and that's because I wrote it. See, you should listen to your actions and let them improv. Like a Power Ranger?
Power Ranger?
Well, he was a Texas Ranger.
Now here we've got layered stuff, and these are really hard to get the timing on. I'm sitting there with my eye to the camera and holding up my finger and going, okay, cue.
Both my parents are DC.
Hoping that we get, you know, the actors in front don't run out of dialogue before we get the fire extinguisher in there. Now this is Shauna, and you know, she looks harmless enough, but actually there's an interesting story that Matt told me about her, that
I'm Chester.
back last year in English Bay, she saw a shark struggling out in the water, and she swam out to it, and grabbed it by the tail, and pulled it into shore, and killed it with her bare hands, and ate it for dinner. And I'm not lying about that. It's always the quiet ones. Now, poor Matt's face got pretty abraded on this, and I felt badly about smashing me in the fence so many times, but as a director, you know, you just gotta get the shot. You gotta get the shot, and you can't, you know, you feel so ruthless. I was also a bit worried that we were only doing 2 angles on this, just the 2 camera angles from the different sides of the fence. But we were running out of light. We didn't have time to do it set up. We didn't have enough time to block and choreograph a full fight sequence.
I have an idea.
And it would have been too much for this anyway.
We can stop
But
people from doing stupid
you know, you get as much as you can and get dramatic angles. And then we're into this. Now here, this brings up a problem. This is actually not my best take on this shot. But we had to use it because the good take got eaten. The DV cameras tend to really have a problem with dropouts from time to time. Really frustrating when you lose a good take like that. This is the sequence that was shot by Reg, and you know, a little bit different directing style, and I'm all for it. Looks good. And this is me, my cameo. I'd rather watch Lord of the Rings anyway. And they're all piling into the FUV, which stands for probably just what you think it stands for. I've had this van for I don't know how many years. It hasn't quite fallen off the road, but it's just about to. This wasn't supposed to be the last shot in the show, but it was so funny when we were watching it, when we were filming it. Yeah, that's going to be a closer, I think. Originally, we had another shot planned for the last, and I couldn't resist putting it in there anyway, and you'll see it at the end of the credits. We had so much more material that we could have put on here. It was amazing. It's just amazing. We had all kinds of outtakes, brilliant stuff that I was sorry to see go, but that's how it goes. It's got to fit in 10 minutes, and you have to be ruthless. That's part of editing. And here's the last shot. well, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you later.